Hello everyone, it's Metagross31 again, and today I want to show you another replay. This is for two reasons. First of all, because I thought the game was interesting, and second of all, I have a new soundboard and I wanted to check whether the beeping noise that was recorded during all of my previous videos is now gone. So maybe leave a comment down below if the sound is now better than in the videos before. Now about the game, this was a game played between Majora and me. It was played just a few days ago. Majora was playing Pure Shadow, and I was playing Shadow Frost. We both already took some power wells, and I thought it was quite interesting because Majora used some really unique or some uncommon strategies, and I also wanted to look at this game again for myself, so I can see where I maybe did some mistakes or if his strategies are actually worth it. So I spawned another squad of Forsake because I thought he might engage, but this is Uro. He can simply avoid me. He can just run over here with a stretch charger, and now there's some chasing going on. I'm running behind his stretch charger with my units, and then at some point I decide that my Forsaken should better run the other way. And meanwhile, we are both welling up, already at 3 extra power wells. Maybe I shouldn't well all the way up while he does, because as you might know, Pure Shadow is really good at high power levels, especially with the Harvester coming out. But we actually didn't see that in this game, but we will see that later. He's already at 4 power wells. I took my 4th power well a bit later. In the meantime, his power well already gained 10 power. So slight advantage for him, especially because my Forsaken are just running around doing nothing. But here I decided that they shouldn't run around anymore, and I sent them to attack. And I can also speed this a little bit up because this is getting boring. There you see he's going tier 2, Pure Shadow. And meanwhile I took a 5th power well in order to get back some of the power I might be behind. And while these two are still running around, he's just spawning some Dark Elf Assassins to pick them off, and because there's some action going on over here, I actually didn't focus on these Forsaken, they are just gonna die. And I'm actually taking a tier 2 because he starts attacking. A Dazed Shadow Mage, I don't know if that's a good idea. I might have been able to run around with a unit and nasty it. There you see my units die, but now its Dark Elf Assassins are over there, not contributing to the fight. And I'm just waiting until I'm tier 2, so I can spawn some M counters like Stormsinger and Nightcrawler to deal with his army. And also I can use Cobalt Trick to just in time save this power well. And if I remember correctly, this Shadow Mage he is playing with over here was really annoying for me, because as you see it's at 40 HP. I could just kill it with one shot of the monument, but instead he uses Undead Army and then sucks up one of the skeleton warriors. So the Shadow Mage is just back at full health before my Nightcrawler could attack it once. And he's actually doing this more than once during this encounter, so this Shadow Mage is putting in a lot of work, especially with the buff from the Rogue Kale. And there you already see some of his uncommon strategies, like the Skeleton Warrior sucking them up with the Shadow Mage, and he's also playing Rogue Kale and Viridia both in the same deck. And I, because there's a wall up here, I barely miss killing the Viridia while it's still in daze, and there you see it snaps out of daze. This was really unfortunate. If I had killed it, it would be 90 power, which would be really huge. But yeah, sadly that didn't happen, and it is running around again. And I think only now I get to kill it after it brought out the tree spirits. And he even managed to drop one power well, so he's maybe a bit ahead in power, but I was at 5 power wells for a longer time, so probably a small lead for him. And as you see, he is continuously using the Skeleton Warriors, the Undead Army, which I think costs him 100 power each time. So it's a huge power investment, and they don't deal too much damage, so I can easily just use Cobalt Tricks to repair my buildings. But they are still really annoying, especially if he manages to heal up his Shadow Mage with it. Like this Shadow Mage also barely got out of daze. And down here, this is what I missed during the game. He used the Dark Alpha Sense from over here, runs over here to grab this power well. And so now, the longer this fight is going on, he is getting an advantage because now he is one power well up. And I sadly did not notice that because once he took this well and cast an Undead Army, he should probably be down on power, which might have opened a window for me to maybe even go on a counter aggression. Or saved up some power and spawned like a Lost Reaver or something. And now the even trickier part, he runs down here and takes another power well. While I am investing a lot of power in the defense up here. Oh, there you go. Another power well just after I used the freeze. Maybe he intentionally waited for that freeze because the skeleton warriors are gonna die anyways, and so he thought I wasted 75 power. And now he has, it's basically like a rallying banner which he spawned down here to attack my power well up close. And still keeping me occupied with the Undead Army. Probably at this point, because he has no crown presence up here, just the skeleton warriors, and they probably wouldn't deal enough damage to kill either of these buildings, so I could probably just run away with the Nightcrawlers and either keep them occupied with a freeze or just Kobold tricks, and he would have to spend more power using Undead Army than I would need to repair these buildings. And then I could use these 2 units down here, but instead I spawned another Nightcrawler down here and used the Kobold trick. And I think this Nightcrawler should be able to at least put in some work down here. Oh, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm running these Nightcrawlers also down here. And he frenzied this Nightcrawler, so it deals a ton of damage, and he even motivates it. And frenzy on the second Nightcrawler. Do I get it down? Barely. In the meantime, another Undead Army up here, but again, I should probably just ignore this. But the thing is, at this point, oh no, these wells didn't pay off yet, so this isn't too bad. There I spawned a Lost Reaver and I nasty it. Taking out these 3 units. Let's see, this was 160 power, I spent 170, but I did a huge amount of damage to this power well. If I had some more power, I could run down another Weaver, maybe it hit it once and then nasty it, and this would kill the well. But sadly I'm only at 70 power, so I can't really do that. And he uses even an Undead Army. At this point I would be interested. I have around 950 power total, and he has around 850 power, so I'm 100 total void power up, but he has 2 extra wells, so probably in total he is better right now. And there the skeleton warrior dies, and I don't think he uses another Undead Army up there because he just used it down here. I try to get down this power well with a frenzied Nightcrawler, but sadly the hit of the Shadow Mage was just a bit too early, and I wanted to run down Lost Weaver and nasty it, but the power well just got repaired, so no chance on that one. Then I try to just sacrifice his power well. Oh, he even run up another Nightcrawler up here, so I needed to spawn something up there as well. And I think with a nasty surprise I should be able to kill this well. Oh yeah, that's what I did. I even waited for, out 1 more spawn, so I get these 2 units and the power well. And I also barely managed to save this monument with a glacier shell. So at this point Majora is still up 1 power well. And he even used motivate on the skeleton warriors because he tried to push through this monument up here. But since they're gonna run out really soon, I don't think this is gonna work. Also, these down here already died. And he's running in another Nightcrawler, probably wanting to attack this base as well. I even used a Kobold trick up here because Glacier Shadow ran out. And we both take tier 3. I play Shadow Frost, he plays Pure Shadow. And so at this point, let's see. Maybe I shouldn't have played this Storm Singer right away, because I could have used the Cobalt trick on the monument and saved this 60 bound power for some tier 3 units. But let's see, at this point I'm at around 800 void power, he's at 830. But I have one more standing unit, so power levels are about even, but he is one well up. So slight advantage for Majora, I'd say. This was a bad nasty because the Nightcrawler survived because it had a life weaving on it, which I think I didn't even notice. But with a Glacier Shell I managed to defend that. My Nightcrawler down here just gets killed by a Shadow Mage. And now we both have tier 3 up, so he starts building Ashbound Pyros, I start building Silver Opened Lancers and Timeless ones. But since he has always just a little bit more power standing than me, he is able to get some really cheap attacks off with Cultist Masters, which only cost 60 power. I could in theory defend them with a Timeless 1 plus Freeze, which only costs 65 power. Or maybe with a nasty on the Silver Lancers. But somehow I'm really late with that. I could have easily done this with my power. I was probably too occupied playing up here. Oh, and there comes the Timeless one, but at this point the monument already took almost half its life as damage. And so this undead army up here probably not doing too much right now. I have quite a lot of power which I don't use. I don't know, maybe I should just spawn Ashbound Pyro, do some split attacks up here or down here, I don't know. Oh, and there was a White Storm by him because he saw I was gonna freeze these anyways and had a bigger standing army. And another undead army together with a Motivate, which baited out one Timeless one spawn by me. And I think after that one White Storm, he's actually up by quite a bit, especially since he buffed his Ashbound Pyro. It now deals a ton of damage to my monument. As you see, it's going down really quickly. And it always feels like he just has a little bit more power than me. So I can't really get anything done with my Ashbound Pyros. I even used Life Weaving and a Freeze here. But it doesn't really work out all the time, especially since he sent another Ashbound Pyro down here, which I have to spend some units on. And he even has even more Ashbound Pyros in order to kill mine. I even have over 200 power. Why didn't I spawn anything? I could even, I don't know, like spawn a Grigori and run it down here or something. And at that point he dropped my tier 3 and this was basically GG. Maybe I was also just too occupied playing at all these corners in the map. And I think I shouldn't even have done anything about the Skeleton Warriors because they don't deal a ton of damage. And focused more on this center because right now the game is basically over. And I think at that point I already called GG and we were just chatting a little bit more in the in-game chat. But yeah, that was the game I wanted to show you. Again, feel free to leave any comments about the sound quality of this video down below. And also what you thought about the game. And maybe I will see you next time. Goodbye. Oh well, let's scroll to the very end. Showing some more power wells. And there I've left the game. Alright, goodbye.